So cool.
Everything's like closed. This is like the quietest I've ever seen a city before. And one of the girls had told us that Sevilla is more like down tempo compared to Madrid and Barcelona. They're more like, like New York City in a way, London. But nowhere is open. None of these stores are open. And we're starting to assume it could be because of Siesta. They actually take Siesta very seriously here, I'm assuming, because everything is closed. Look at this. Kind of cool, right? Yeah. But everything's closed. So we're starting to think, okay, it might be Siesta, but, because in Madrid, everything was open at all times. So they didn't take it as seriously. So hopefully we can find a spot because I'm starving. We haven't eaten at all. But we'll see what's up. Stay tuned.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
This is something that surprised me the first time I went there, and probably one of the biggest surprises and biggest culture shocks that people experience when they go to Spain, and that is Siesta. So I remember I went to Seville this past summer, and I went in Seville, and I was there, and I'm like, bro, there's nothing open. The convenience stores were closed, the restaurants were closed. Everything was closed. It was like a ghost town. I didn't see people around, nothing. It was almost like people evacuated the city. It was quiet. You could hear a pin drop on the floor, right? Like it was super quiet ghost town. And the thing is, guys, I've been to Spain before. Like I went to Madrid, I went to Barcelona. And it wasn't like that over there. But in Seville, it was like a ghost town. Everyone evacuated everything. So I was walking through the town with Irina, and we're over here trying to look for a spot to eat because we're starving. It was around 3-4 p.m. So around the siesta time, right? But we didn't know that. So we're walking, and finally we saw a coffee shop open. So that was the only thing that was open. So we had a coffee, we had a drink, and some croissants and shit with chocolate. And I asked the guy, what is going on here? Why is it a ghost town? And they are one, there's siesta. So in the south, the south of Spain, they are, especially the small villages and small places in Spain, they take siesta very seriously. In places like Barcelona and Madrid, these people still celebrate siesta, but it isn't as crazy as Seville and the other places in Spain. Because Barcelona and Madrid are kind of like New York. It's kind of like always something going on for the most part. Businesses do shut down over there, but it's not as common. However, when you go to places like Seville, a lot of places shut down. But one is because of siesta. But number two, if you go in the summertime, a lot of the time they also do it because it's too hot. In Seville, it's 100+ degrees Fahrenheit over there. It is hot as a motherfucker. And I thought Madrid was hot. I thought Barcelona was hot. But Seville is on a different level of heat. You go over there and it hurts to be out in the sun. That's how crazy it is. It hurts to be out. As soon as that sun beams on you, it starts hurting you. You start fucking burning. It's almost like someone just lit you on fire. That's how crazy it is sometimes when you're in Seville. It's hot as fuck. You know what I mean? Which is the reason why people hibernate. They stay in home. They stay at home until it gets a little darker when the sun goes down, and then they all go out again. What the hell's going on? There's nobody out. And then literally 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. hit, everyone's out and shit. You're like, what the hell happened? Where everyone came from? Where were you guys at a couple hours ago? But that's the way it is. So people hibernate, one, because of siesta. So what they do in siesta is some people just have a nice lunch, nice meal with their family or friends, and then they might take a nap. Siesta, like I said, is from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., so it's a couple of hours. So they'll have a meal, they'll nap, and then they might go back to work for a couple more hours, and then they're out after that, right? And some people drink. I've seen all sorts of things in siesta. But it's something that I wish America had. This is something I wish America had, because in America, our version of siesta is lunch break. Right, but it's so boring. Lunch break. Sometimes you might have a 15-minute lunch break. Sometimes you might have a 30-minute lunch break. Sometimes you might have an hour lunch break. And lunch breaks go by so damn quickly. Especially if you got. I remember one time, guys, when I was in college, I was working at this company. Well, no, it was high school. So when I was in high school, I was working for a flyer company. So I was handing out flyers to people and shit. right? So I remember I was doing that. So you would basically go from door to door handing out flyers or just dropping off flyer at people's doorsteps, right? And I only had a 15-minute break. And the thing is, I would get in my car and I would go to the nearest fast food place, because it's not like I could sit down and have some food, right? Or it's not like I could bring in my own food, because where's the microwave? Where am I going to heat it up? So I used to drive on over to the nearest McDonald's or Burger King or somewhere quick to pick up food. And by the time I got there and got my order, it was already 15 minutes. And then the guy would yell at me, "Oh, bro, I gave you a 15-minute break. Where you at?" I'm like, bro, like, honestly, I went in my car, I drove to the spot, I picked up the food, and that's 15 minutes right there. Even 30 minutes flies. An hour. I mean, an hour to me is fair, but even an hour flies. In Spain, they have like 3-4 hours of lunch and naps. And they go back in more energized and better than ever. Right? Over there in Spain, as I stated, family and life comes first. Work comes second. That's translated to everything. So when you guys, a lot of people sometimes say that Europeans aren't the best when it comes to customer service, or especially Americans. This usually comes from Americans. But Americans always say that Europeans are not the best when it comes to customer service. They're not the best when it comes to serving or hospitality. And I mean, it's not that they're bad or they're rude. It's just more of, it's their culture. Like, they don't take work as seriously as we do here in America. And America's like, oh, you better hurry up and attend them. You better hurry up and make sure that they're having a good time. Like, in America, it's kind of like, you know, the service that we provide is important, because that's how we get our money. That's how we keep getting people coming in and coming out, giving us business. That's how we get our tips, right? From our waitresses and waiters. So our service is very important, right? And a lot of the time, it's good for the customer themselves, but it's bad for the workers, because the problem is sometimes it could really affect your mental health. It could really screw you up. You're overworking yourself for just a couple bucks. In Spain, it's different. It's kind of like, when I get to you, I get to you. They kind of have that mentality over there, where when I get to you, I'll get to you. Take your time. I'll be there. 2 minutes. And that 2 minutes will be like 30 minutes, right? They'll say, hey, I'll be with you in a second. 2 minutes, 10 minutes pass by, nothing. Homeboy chilling on his phone. You walk on over to you. Oh, vale, chicos, ¿cómo está? My bro, it's been 10, 20 minutes. What's going on? You know, as an American, like, we get frustrated, because the thing is, we expect service, like, you know, quickly, you know, get to us, you know, service, give us drinks. But in Spain, it'd be like, vale, chicos, ¿cómo está? You know, like, you guys want drinks? Cool. 10 minutes later, nothing. 15 minutes, finally, they get you your drinks. Here you go. Okay, what do you guys want to eat? Oh, I want this, that. Okay, cool. 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, 50 minutes later, then they bring you your food, right? Not all places are like that. Some places are quick. But for the most part, don't get surprised when they take their sweet time with your food, right? That's just the way they navigate in Spain, right? They care more about themselves more than the customer. And that's not a bad thing. It's just they don't really feel the urgency to overwork themselves and bust their ass so much. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, work is work. That's not number one in their life. And I kind of like that. To me, that's a healthy mindset to have, in my opinion. It's kind of like, I don't take my job so seriously mentality. You know what I mean? Like, when I get to you is when I get to you. I'm still going to get my job done. I'm still going to give you your food and your drinks. I'm still going to be nice to you. But when I get to you, I get to you. And that's what their mentality is. And that's the way customer service is they'll try their best to help you out to the best of their ability, but they're not going to overdo it like the way we do here in America. Where in America, they'll fucking, you know, not every company, but they'll bend backwards and do this and give you a refund. And, you know, it's not like that in Europe. They'll do as much as they can up to a certain level, a certain degree. And then they'll be like, yo, dude, just fuck off. You know what I mean? Just fuck off. You know, I don't get paid enough for this, man. I don't care about this job. You know, life comes first, family comes first. And that's just the way their mentality is. So if you see them take their sweet time with bringing your food out, it's not that they hate you or anything like that. It's just, that's just the way the culture is. And another thing, like I stated before earlier in the honorable mentions, is sometimes the waiter will greet you, and then 15, 20 minutes later, they'll bring you your food, and then they'll be gone for another hour, and you're wondering where they are. It's not that they don't care about you or that they went missing or anything like that. It's more of, or sometimes they could be staring directly at you, and you're over here like, are you going to help me out? What's going on? And the way it works in Europe when it comes to serving, is you have to call them to you. You have to call them like, hey, excuse me, can you come over? Like, they're not going to go over to you like what they do in America. In America, every 5 minutes they'll come by and be like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? In Spain, it's different. In Spain, is that you have to call them. They'll be hanging out in the corner somewhere and they'll be surveying everything, making sure everything's going good, but they won't stop by any tables until you call them. Once you call them, then they'll come to you. But it's different over there because, like I said, the way they view things is, I don't want to bother. I don't want to be up in people's faces. I'm gonna let them enjoy their meal. When they want me, they want me. When I get to them, I get to them, right? It's a different culture over there in Spain. They do it like 180. It's like a 180 here from America, where we're always on top of people over here. Not saying that one's better than the other, or one's bad and the other one isn't good, but I just find that interesting and fascinating how both of the cultures work. Listen, in Spain, almost every business is shut down, or most businesses are shut down on Sundays. Sunday is a day of rest, a day of prayer, a day to spend your family, right? A lot of Spanish people shut down their business. So a lot of restaurants, convenience stores, especially shops. So stores, so if you want to shop on a Sunday, good luck with that. Not saying every store is closed, but for the most part, it's closed. All right, so if you try to shop on a Sunday, you're like, yeah, let me get my shopping on and shit. You're like, what the fuck is going on? What is Zara? Everything's closed. You know what I mean? Like, everything's closed on Sundays because people are off. You know, that goes back to what I was stating. People care more about their personal lives and their family more than work over there. You know, so they're not going to work. You know, over here, how like in America, you know, Black Friday and you got to work all day, every day. And you got to work Thanksgiving. You got to work Christmas. Bro, over there in Spain, they come up with excuses to get off. Over there, bro, it'll be like a random Wednesday morning. No, not even a Wednesday afternoon. And it'll be someone's birthday or something. Oh, let's close down the business real quick. Let's close down the shop, right? For the day, whatever, fuck it. Right? And they'll close it down. And you're like, what the fuck? What are their hours of operations? It says here Monday through Saturday, but they're closed on a Wednesday. What's going on? And that's because they don't give a damn. You know, Spanish people don't give a damn. They'll close it on a random day, on a random time. They don't give it. Sometimes it's hard to understand what their hours of operation truly is because they can close at any minute. And that's the way Spanish people are. They don't care about work or businesses as much as we do here in America. Over here in America, work and our business is everything to us. But in Spain, that's not everything to them. That comes second. Their family life, their personal life comes first.